All right.
Okay.
So,
And
oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you guys need support, I'm happy to stay. If you feel, confident in this on your own, then I may pop out.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank
Thanks
you.
for getting us started.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. Have a great evening.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you.
Feel better, Phil.
Absolutely.
All right. Bye.
Bye. All right, so we'll call to order the meeting of the Bridgewater Town DEIB Committee on April 21st, 2026. We're calling to order at 7:40 p.m. I just realized that since Jane is the secretary, we will not have minutes today unless Phil is probably not able to do it. Shirley, would you take minutes for us today?
Will I take minutes?
Yeah.
Well, if we record it, we can transcribe from the minutes.
Sorry, say that again?
If we record it, we can transcribe them from. We can transcribe the minutes from the recording.
Sure, if you want to do that. I don't know
I
how to
don't know
do
how
that.
to do it.
Oh, I don't either.
Well, let's record it.
Yeah,
Let's record it, and then we'll have whatever Caitlin. We'll have her Josh, transcribe the minutes from the recording. That's the best thing about recording. You're not going to miss anything.
okay. All
But I'm
right.
having trouble with my right hand.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. All right. So the first thing to do is, well, the first thing on the agenda is approval of meeting minutes, which I think neither of you have seen yet, unless I'm wrong. But because Jane just sent them to Josh like 2 or 3 hours ago. So am I correct that neither of you have seen the January 12th or March 24th meeting minutes yet?
You have not.
Okay, so we'll
So
table that for next time. Next on the agenda is public comment. We do not currently have any members of the public present, so we'll move on to new business, which is the same as usual, town council presentation and next steps for the belonging survey. So I did a little more work on the town council presentation since the last time we met. Oh, hi, Shirley. So I'm going to share my screen on that. And I wrote out some ideas for what we should do next. So, based on the notes that I took last time we met, I made a couple of edits throughout, and well, I guess I'll just walk through it. So this is just my notes from last time about things to consider. The screen with committee membership, adding a slide about what is DEIB, like what does that mean? Another slide about why Bridgewater needs a DEIB committee. This is the stuff, some of the stuff that was already in it from last time about the history of the committee, what the 2021 surveys showed. These are the summaries of some of that data. Adding a slide here about why addressing these issues is good for the town. And then what do we know about residents' experience in Bridgewater today? So this is kind of setting up the fact that the surveys were a couple of years ago and why we're going to do a new survey soon. So, a little bit of what we know about living in Bridgewater today. So, an idea from last time was maybe adding something about the composition of who lives in the town versus the composition of leaders in the school districts, police departments, maybe some other things that might be relevant. And then this is kind of like what we don't know. And then the long term and short term goals of the committee. So these are the long term goals that we had agreed on a couple meetings ago. And then the current priorities and goals. And then that's it. So by adding these slides that have the yellow highlights, these are the things that we still need to add. And so I was thinking that what we can do is that each of us can kind of claim one of these highlighted sections to fill that in. So I can send this document to Josh to send to everyone. And then based on what we decide now, everybody can kind of fill in their designated slide and also put your picture in the committee members slide and update your description if needed. And then once everybody has done that, send the PowerPoint file back to Josh before the next meeting, and then I'll put it all together. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, awesome. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 slides that have something highlighted here. Obviously, there's only 4 of us, so um, tell me if you see something that you are particularly interested in writing the slide for. So there's the one about what is DEIB, what does that mean? There's one about why does Bridgewater need a DEIB committee? Why is addressing these issues good for the town? What we know about town composition, what we don't know. Anything jump out to either of you?
One of the things that comes to mind is why Bridgewater needs a DEI committee. And I'm just wondering what kind of approach we would take in addressing that. And from my point of view, it doesn't mean that I'm right. It could be that this makes Bridgewater is considered a progressive town. Reason why, the amount of money the state put into the university, we have the MBTA stop coming through. We have a lot of great things happening here that makes our community more open and more diverse in all ways, not just in color. And my thought and feeling is if we start with that and identify some of the areas where we can improve on and increase communication within the town and make the proper, I would say, connections otherwise, even with new businesses and existing business that's in the town, so that we can provide some sort of platform of a direction we'd like to see the town head in. Does any of that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Yep, I think it's pinpoint. You right on.
Awesome, Phil. So I put your name on that slide.
Thank you.
All right, what about you, Shirley? Did anything jump out at you?
What was number 2?
So there was what is DEIB? Why is addressing these issues good for the town? What we know, what we don't know.
Right. Well, go back one. So do you think we can meld? Go back another one. Do you think we can meld that one into the one Phil was talking about? Can we just kind of intertwine the two, marry those two?
Yeah, I think we could. I was sort of thinking that it would be nice to have something about it here, because this is after the stuff about what the 2021 surveys show. So it's a lot of stuff about how a majority of survey respondents had said that, they identify as, they witnessed identity-based mistreatment, that they think the town's not very inclusive, that there were a lot of discrimination instances based on race and ethnicity, like with these examples, and like overall not satisfied with how town and school officials are addressing these issues. So I thought it would be nice to be like, okay, well, like why, like the answer is obvious, but like, why do we care that people are not satisfied with that? So I thought that would be a good segue into why this is still relevant and why we want to know more about residents' experiences today.
Okay, so we can do. Okay, so that's what we do know about Bridgewater is from the survey. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll take that.
This one?
Mm-hmm.
All right, awesome. Oops.
Because that's what we know about. That's what we know about Bridgewater, right?
Say that again?
Is that the one that we talked about? What we know about Bridgewater?
Uh, no, that's this one. Are you thinking of this one? The one that's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
talking about like composition of the town
Yes,
residents
what we
versus
what we know about Bridgewater.
Okay, so you want that one? right, so um, I guess what I'll do, I don't know, I guess we should just pick one for Jane to do, right? Since she's not here. I'll do that one.
This is a what? How long is the presentation? 30 minutes?
I don't actually know. It's not scheduled yet, but I don't know how long it's supposed to be.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so I'll send this out to Josh and ask him to send it to everybody. Everybody's gonna be editing a different file, but don't worry about that because when you send it back to Josh, then I'll kind of put everything back together before our next meeting.
Ashley, if it's possible, can I ask you a favor
Sure.
concerning what you send us, either
Yeah.
directly or through Josh? If you can make mine extra large, it will be very helpful. Though I have vision left, I am considered legally blind.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Hopefully that will help. Okay. All right. So that's that. Once we have the survey in good shape, we can.
I think I may benefit from it too, Phil.
All right.
It'll
Good.
it'll be a PowerPoint file, so you can also like zoom in on the file itself. That hopefully that will help too.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so the next on the agenda is next steps for the belonging survey. So in the last meeting we had tabled this because we didn't have the minutes from the previous meeting yet, so did not remember what we had left off with trying to do last time. According to those minutes, we were supposed to all look at the survey and write down questions or like additions. That obviously did not happen. So I went back and found the most recent copy that I have of the survey, which I think must be the most recent one we have at all. And the last thing that I had said on January 22nd, I'd written a comment saying to add a few questions from the original 2021 survey, like the ones that I had pulled out for the town report. I think that the survey's in pretty decent shape, so I listed out just before this meeting. I listed out some action items for us to pursue regarding the survey. So one is to add the questions from this comment above about to the survey. I'm going to take that one because I can find the phrasing pretty easily of those questions. And then a couple of action steps would be to so that somebody should ask Josh about what the next steps are for getting the survey programmed and launched. He had talked a couple meetings ago about how like the IT department for the town has its own way of programming a survey. So we're not necessarily ready right now, but we should find out what those next steps are. Somebody can ask Josh if we have any restrictions about advertising for the survey. Like, is there anything that we have to do or that we cannot do in order to advertise and try to get people to take it? And then lastly, to create a flyer that has a QR code on it to advertise the survey around town and online. So I was thinking, just like with the presentation today, we can each claim one of these, and then everybody can send their completed action item to Josh to send around before the next meeting. So
You think we could have this ready by by June?
I think so because it's pretty much done. Like based, it looks good to me. I guess I'll also will send it around so that Josh can send it to everybody too. But yeah, I think this is just like last steps now before it's ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so any action items calling out to either of you?
No.
Nothing really comes to mind except for I'm still in a pleasant way overwhelmed by Sam Baumgarten
Yeah.
and a lot of the things that he had to say. And not only that, he's has deep resources, people who he can connect with. So even if he's not interested, though I'll be that guy to knock on his door and say you should be with us.
Yeah.
Um, he's more likely to do some work with us because he's kind of out there. I wouldn't say flapping in the wind, but he doesn't have the support of our committee. You know, when he wants to do the pride flag and this, that, and the other thing, and maybe we can find some synchronicity between the two of us. And moreover than anything else, I think he can add a lot of knowledge when we're brainstorming like this, and especially when it comes to doing the surveys.
Yeah, that's a good point. So we'll add another one.
There is a flag raising committee, and there's a Juneteenth flag raising committee. Maybe you would want to participate in one of those events.
Well, what do you how do you feel about that, Shirley? I mean, being on the diversity committee, what and Ashley and everybody else, what do you think? How do you think we should approach that?
You can approach the committee because they're getting ready for the to make some decisions. They're having the first time reading the what do you call it, the it's the when you read the document to declare that it's I'm trying to think, I'm lost. When they have the first reading, not like the petition, but the what do you call it when you have the first reading of a document to
Oh, I don't know.
I'm
I'm
trying
not
to think.
I'm not sure either.
Well, anyway, they're having the first reading and it's going to be voted on it by town council.
Wow.
Uh, it's a letter of support. It's not a
Mm,
referendum. I'll think about it by the time we finish.
mm.
But maybe we should get ourselves on the committee. Show up and say show up and have some input as a supporter.
Yeah, that makes good sense. Yeah, that makes good sense because we're kind of doing the same things, just a little bit differently.
Yep,
And they can leverage what we know, and we can leverage what they know, and then come together with the best of what each of those committees have to offer to help
right.
each other.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Shirley, do you want to take that on?
I'm already part of the BCCR group, so I'm already part of that cadre of people. So, but I'm already involved with them.
Gotcha.
Would would you mind running those ideas by them?
Yes, I can. We just had a meeting. I'll run them by them because we'll have another meeting before the flag raising time.
And I can take on the responsibility of getting in touch with Sam Baumgarten. I don't know his phone number offhand.
I have Sam's contact information.
Oh, that'll be great if you can find a way to pass it on to me, even if through an intermediary.
I'll send it through Josh
Okay, that's great.
because he said if we have separate meetings, if we're sending emails through to each other, that gives the semblance of us having private meetings. So that's why he
Yeah,
doesn't want us communicating, between among ourselves.
understood.
But you know what? He says that about DEIB, but we do that at Citizens Advisory Committee. I don't hate to say we do it all the time, but we send messages between among us.
Yeah, well, you know, that's one of the hurdles we have to overcome. Mm,
We may be under more scrutiny than some of the other people, because of who we are.
Yeah, maybe so. Well,
But
it's eight
there's
o'clock. It's 8 o'clock, so I don't want to keep you. I don't want to keep all of us any longer. So Phil's gonna reach out to Sam about
yeah,
ideas for advertising the survey. Shirley's gonna send that contact info. I'm gonna add the questions to the survey. Shirley, would you want to ask Josh about if he can email us all with what the next steps are for getting the survey programmed and launched?
if we can do what?
If Josh, can you ask Josh if he'll email all of us to tell us what the next steps are for getting the survey
I
launched?
sure will. I sure will.
Awesome, thank you.
Question number 2, right?
Yes. And I will send these like to-do lists that I'm making. I'll send them to Josh right after this so that he can send it out probably not tonight, but like, maybe tomorrow as soon as he can so that we have that with plenty of time for us all to get our individual things done.
Disseminating the information and launching the survey.
Yeah,
Because he said they have the capacity to do all those things, so we're not going to reinvent the wheel. We don't have the time to do that.
right, exactly.
hmm Okay, so the one you're sending me is really clear, right? It's going to say my name on it.
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. Got it, got it. So
But
happy.
if we send it, just say, Josh, forward this to other people, everything that's being communicated to any one of us, we'll know who has what in case something happens to one of us. If in case Phil has to, tell me that, okay, Shirley, I know you're having trouble with your back. I'll take over what you're supposed to be doing.
That makes sense. I like it. I like it. Surely
Yeah,
you ever have any problems, you can rely on me.
yeah, oh yeah. We're not
Okay.
excluding you, Ashley.
Sorry, say that again?
We're not excluding you.
No.
No. Well, I have an affection for you already because you have my mother's first name.
Who, Ashley?
No.
Who?
Surely.
Your mother's
Surely.
first name is Shirley?
Yes.
Oh my God. Well,
She's
okay.
every bit as Shirley as you are.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. This has been good, everybody. Thank you so much for your time, Ashley, everyone else. This has been really productive.
Yeah, agreed. Thank you both for being here. So,
I'll be this. Yeah, I was quite disappointed that I wasn't in on the last conversation, but anyway. And guess who
yeah.
told me I wasn't in on the conversation? Sam Baumgarten.
See that? I'm telling you.
Yup, he was the one who said to me, "Why weren't you there? They had a meeting." And I said, "When?"
He's our guy. Can't wait.
Yeah, Sam came. I remember when Sam came to Bridgewater as a teacher at the Grinnell School.
Just one last thing on Sam. What I thought was amazing, my kids are 38, a 40, and 41. And he listed their names. How's Grayson? How's Haven? How's Brittany? What are they doing? I was so amazed.
Yep.
All those years and all those kids that he's seen come and go, he remembered them.
Yes, yes, my kids too. His wife was my daughter's Girl Scout leader.
Incredible.
Yep.
Okay.
Ashley, how are your kids doing?
Good, just
Your
one.
daughter.
She's good.
Your daughter. Not your kids, your daughter.
That's right. Yep. Yep. She's in
Mm.
full 2-year-old
2
fashion.
years old.
2 years old, yep. Having all the
Right,
big
right.
feelings. But she's also extremely adorable. She loves getting tickled, which is very fun.
Yeah. So we know that your hands are full with her.
Oh yes, absolutely.
There's never a dull moment, is there?
Nope.
There's always a new adventure. I didn't notice this yesterday. she's doing this, and I didn't see this yesterday, her development. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. All right, well, it was nice to see you both. So let's go ahead and there's no old business. I don't think there are any additional items for discussion. So would either of you like to make a motion to adjourn our meeting?
A motion to adjourn after we say good luck, Phil, on your
Right.
recuperation.
Thank you so much, and I second that.
Excellent. All
Okay.
right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. So the meeting adjourns at 8:04 p.m. So I will send around. I'll have Josh send around the to-do lists, and then we'll also have him look into dates for the next meeting, probably 3 to 4 weeks from now, if that sounds good to you both.
Right. And
Sounds good.
he will do the he'll I guess he'll transcribe the notes for us.
Oh, yeah,
From the
that's right.
tape.
We'll have to ask him to do that. Yeah.
Right. I'm so glad that you know how to tape it because I don't even know how to tape I don't even know how to tape the notes. I don't even know how to tape. I don't know how to do the recording. So at least you have the recording.
Yeah.
Okay. All
All
right.
right.
Have a good night, everyone.
You
Thank
too.
you. Take
Okay.
good care, everybody.
You
You
too.
too. Bye
Bye.
bye.